Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Ever Saturday podcast. A very impromptu episode on my birthday, my 21st birthday. Some news has came out that we cannot not talk about. It's boiled our blood that much over the past couple of days. That obviously the Steven Gerrard news. We have to come on and talk about it. As always, if you could like, subscribe to the channel, know that very much appreciated. But we wanted to come on here, vent our thoughts about the situation, get everyone out the system. Basically say our thoughts about Steven Gerrard possibly within the next 24 hours being the Aston Villa boss. Like, imagine saying that like in Sunday. This is the thing I just kind of get around my head. Like he was adamant on the international players when he was asked that question. I mentioned it in Monday's podcast or whenever we've done it Sunday. He was adamant, like, no, these players need to come back and play an important semi-final. It's up to them, I've told them. Stay healthy and get back and be ready. And it's him that's jumped ship after saying that. At the first opportunity, him getting a job in the Premier League, he's jumped ship. And it's not to Liverpool. We all thought maybe the Jurgen Klopp contract situation 2024 lines up perfectly. Maybe he goes, he succeeds him. But to Aston Villa, really, I mean, they've lost their best player in the summer. A couple of seasons ago, they were in the Championship. They only just stayed up the season they were in the Premier League, and they've got this war chest for the Grealish money that they've spent. It's not went well, and now it looks to be Steven Gerrard who's the successor. What is your thoughts just on the situation as you saw it?
Well, first off, mate, I can't believe this actually happened on your birthday. I know we joked about it, but it's actually happened on your birthday. I mean, I'm shocked, mate. It was obviously linked with the Newcastle job, and that didn't really hang me, but it was just devastated, really. I'm shocked. I know everyone's been going through the emotions today. You've been angry, you've been upset, you just felt nothing really, have you? But then you remember that the club's always bigger. The club is the main thing. We as the fans are more important. But I just think this man's spineless, mate. This is a guy who talks about, being loyal and playing for one club and all this part of. As soon as he get the first opportunity, he said that, he thought it was one club, what was it, for the rest of his life? But then, he got that hang with Rangers, and it's just, mate, it's spineless for me. Do you know what I mean? You can't sit there and have a go at anybody else, really, if they jump ship now, because, to be honest with you, he was probably the reason. I think somebody like Yanis Hadji might have claimed. I'm bottling it now, mate. I think myself as Joe Rebo going, as Glenn Kamara going.
I think that's maybe the big talking point now is the theory me and you as fans, like these players, as you say, have came for the pull of Steven Gerrard, and with him gone, like, where does that leave us? Obviously still a massive club in their own right, but Gerrard was a massive reason why Hadji, Aribo, Kamara maybe extended his contract.
But let me just get on in that. I'm sorry, everyone's been debating it. Is Rangers, Aston Villa bigger than Rangers and all this part? I'm sorry, I've said it before. Man U, Liverpool, Rangers and Celtic, that is the biggest clubs in the UK. And for me, it's just a fact. I know everyone's sharing the goal Keema scored for Leeds into Aston Villa. I'm loving it. That was a great game. But no, listen, there's a reason why you've got people who are Southampton fans that support Rangers. You've got people who are Leeds United fans down in Leeds that we seen when we were out celebrating 55. Who support Rangers. Do you know why that is? Because they know their club aren't going to win anything. Their English club ain't going to win nothing. Because, I mean, it's the whole league in general, mate. For me, it's disgusting. Something like this is kind of just obviously, maybe just turn my head for actually watching it. It actually opens your eyes up to actually what is actually going on down there. And it really is just a monopoly, man. People just throwing money at stuff and just going, give him how much money he wants, what have you. I've just been shocked, mate, to be honest with you. I can't believe it. This is a guy that I honestly didn't think Steven Gerrard would be the kind of guy to leave Rangers in November.
I never thought it either.
Semi-final, chance to play Europe after Christmas, 4 points clear at the week, and he's jumped ship. I thought he would have wanted to add a lot more silverware, definitely with the cups, and improve his cup record.
Mm-hmm.
And it's leading us into the Champions League. I thought he would want to be the first man to lead us into the Champions League.
Would that not be a good opportunity for him to then say, right, I've took Rangers as far as I can? I would say he wins the league, he wins a cup this year, and they got us into the Champions League. for me, that is fine for him to go and do what he wants to do after that and take another step. But it's the timing. It's the fact that what he said on Sunday is just empty words. It's the fact that what he said at the end of last season when he was speaking to Chris Boyd and that in Sky Sports after lifting the league trophy. We're hungry for more. This is the start of the process, and you jump ship at the first opportunity. And midway through a season, as you say, when we've got our 2 biggest games coming up after the international break that we need to get a team ready for, and he thinks that's an okay thing to do to the fans that have supported him, because we didn't need to support him. We did not see any success over the first 2 years of him being there. No trophies means you're a failure in a Rangers manager anyway. Obviously, he turned it around last season, but for the first 2 seasons, all the fans could have turned on him, but we stuck behind him. We stuck by the process. We believed him, and he obviously walks as we're obviously waiting on the confirmation at the first opportunity. But first, after that, we'll start with the positives. If Steven Gerrard does leave the club, right? This season has been a total mismatch on the pitch. I mean, we've looked like a shadow of the team we were. And maybe is this the reason is Gerrard's heart not been in it? I don't really know about that, but he's left us a good team. You can't deny what Gerrard has done over the past 4 seasons and a bit he's been here. Like, he has changed us for what we were, which was an absolute shambles, and he revitalised the club and he made it what it is. And I mean, he got the right players, he got his backroom staff in.
He brought it back, mate. That's as simple as that. He brought the Rangers back that I remember. Do you know what I mean? Just, it was fantastic football, and you had players that you adored. And I mean, I'm so shocked at this. I just can't believe it. And as you're saying, you have to give him credit with the squad that he started off with, what we've got now. But also along the way, I mean, I think of that Hearts game straight away. I thought he had to go after that Hearts game in the cup. I think it was.
You look at that. That is a terrible. And see when that happened when we beat Celtic and we were celebrating like we did, and we were 2 points behind them with a game in hand, and then we came back after Christmas and pulled like that. That's a sackable offence for any Rangers manager. But on his name, on the support that the fans got, and obviously the support that the owners and the board all had in him, to stick behind him and give him the other season, and he produced that last season with the team, is like nothing short of unforgettable. That season last year was iconic. But for me now, looking back on that season, which I thought for me and you would always be such an important time to look back on and reminisce and be like, right, this is when we finally became Rangers again. Don't know, it's got a bad flavour now for me, just with the whole situation. I just never thought Steven Gerrard had the bone in his body to turn his back on a contract that he'd signed for a club. I thought he was that guy that would play to the whistle, play to the end of his contract and see what happens. But as we've seen tweets all over online today, loyalty in football, what is it anymore? I thought Steven Gerrard was one of these guys. I really did. I didn't think he would chase money or anything like that. But obviously he's went to benefit himself, which fair enough for the guy moving closer to his family and all that. Can get hard, I guess. But he's been a footballer all his life. He's made these sacrifices. Surely, if he wanted to stay, he would have.
No, absolutely, mate. But I just think to myself, see this whole being close to family and all that. Maybe back in the day, that's the thing. See now, no really, come on. You've got a 2-week break, you can get down. You've got all these, Zoom calls, Skypes, whatever. You're always in contact with your family. I just honestly, I really do find it spineless. And I mean, I know you can go on about he was loyal to Liverpool and all that, but he was about to jump ship, was he not, with Chelsea with Jose Mourinho, and it took something to happen to convince him to stay at Liverpool. So I don't know. I could go on a rant. I want to go on a rant, but then I'm holding myself, man, because I'm shocked, mate. I can't even believe that a guy that we actually held in such regard and thought this guy is a respectable, loyal man. He shares the same values as I think as a lot of us have at the club, and he's just go November semi-finals the next game. You're going to go with Aston Villa fighting relegation. And the funny thing about it, by the way, see, we're talking about loyalty, as I said, the loyalty means nothing nowadays. But I've honestly, with Leeds, I've been a bit concerned with Marcel and players that people are making excuses. I feel like anyway, we're missing players, and I know how big they are, but they've stuck by him, unlike some of them in that league at the round about the bottom part where Leeds are. They've sacked their managers. So that tells me right there. But no, I can't believe Aston Villa are all clubs. I know.
That's the most criminal thing about it. Like, see if Spurs 2 weeks ago came in for Gerrard and he was like, right, this is a big opportunity for me to put myself on the map in the Premier League. I think I would have opened my hands up and been like, right, that's a big job for him to get. Like, fair
Aye,
enough
they're
if
not
he
bigger
took
than
it.
Rangers though, are they?
They're not a bigger club than Rangers, but you can understand maybe why he
You
would have
could
took it.
understand why,
I just
absolutely.
don't understand for 1 second why he would have ever considered the Aston Villa job. I don't get it at all. As I spoke to you last night when I was listening to TalkSport on the way home from work, there's Villa fans coming on and criticising the league and the status of Rangers and how big Villa are compared to Rangers. As I was listening to TalkSport last night, that is the first time, like, I hold my hands up, I have ever heard Aston Villa being talked about on the radio, ever. That shows me how big of a club Aston Villa are. On an English radio show, the only time they're ever talked about is when the Rangers manager wants to go to them. I hear Rangers and Celtic talked about all the time on that show. And when was the last time Aston Villa were in Europe as well? Like,
no, but I say that all the time. You talk sport and all that. It's about clickbait. It's about, you know what I mean? They know that we're easy to come in because of how much we care for our club. But I just can't believe it. Like, really, Aston Villa? I mean, he's not going to achieve it. And then this is the thing I come back to as well. When people go, well, he needs to go to a different club before he goes to get the Liverpool job. He will one day be the Liverpool manager. But I think if you take Rangers in the Champions League and say you do no bad with Rangers in the Champions League, look at his European record defending. That to me speaks like, no, well, okay, if you don't respect our league, at least expect what I've done in Europe with this team compared to all the budgets that everyone else has. At least look at that and respect that. I just constantly think our game gets constantly disrespected all the time. It's not our fault. I mean, there was another lad on the other night and he was talking about that every league's really a 2-horse race, and in that case, it is kind of true. It's a 2 or 3 horse race in most leagues. I mean, you're looking at this season, Hearts seem to be doing no bad. So
no. There's a more consistent sort of 5 teams around the spots this season. Like, Rangers haven't been amazing. Celtic have again been sort of stop-start. Hearts have been phenomenal. Hibs again have tailed away a wee bit, but started very good. Dundee United are a strong side. They beat us in the first time in 50 games or something. So, looking at Gerrard's European record, I mean, he had no right to achieve what he did with that side in the first season, definitely. I mean, look at the players he had at his disposal, like John Flanagan and all that, like, he brought in, like, the start of the process to start off with European football was big. He got all the fans on board with that, the record in Europe, the big victories. I mean, last year we were unbeaten and topped the group in the Europa League. We were that good last season. And again, he had no right to go and dominate teams like Benfica away from home and that. Like, they're games that stick out in my head and be like, right, Steven Gerrard is, wow, what a manager he's been for us. And then you think about Villa. It's just, that's the thing that gets on. It's the timing of the whole situation for me. Absolutely. Like, that's the thing.
I know, sorry to hang you, mate, but that's the thing that really bothers me the most, man, is I've just lost all respect for him. You've left halfway through the season when we need you the most for the semi-final, when you're talking about, I don't care about international football club levels, it's supposed to be your number one, it's all about Rangers. Well, clearly not all about Rangers, mate, because you're way down to play relegation football. I mean, it's a decent squad, you know what I mean? They have a decent squad, but I'm sorry, they're no bigger than Rangers, and it's I can't believe it. A semi-final away. We need, you know what I mean? We've got a massive game in Europe to decide our future in terms of are we going to be in that competition going forth after Christmas. And as I say, it's just disappointing. I think all the high regard we had for the guy, man, and for me, I've lost all ounce of respect for the guy.
I also think about, obviously, the tragic loss of Walter Smith a couple of weeks ago. I saw how touched and how emotional he was during that full speech he gave out, which I thought that must be really hard for him to do. He must have had a great relationship with Walter. Never think of Walter. I'm like, what does Walter think of this guy now? Like, surely Walter would have chats with him all the time about, like, how big Rangers are. Like, I'm sure if before Walter sadly passed, they would have had conversations with Gerrard about the future of Rangers and about things like this. So for him to then sort of it's been a really tough time for the club for the past couple of weeks with that, and then it's getting even tougher now with this news coming out. It's just in bad taste for me.
No, but 100%, that's something I wanted to say, and I didn't want to come on and go ranting and raving about it, but I feel it's, as I say, when I said to you, when you seen that video and how hard it must have been for him, but it felt like he really connected with us. He was really connecting with the club. He understood the pain that we were going through, and just to see him leave like that for Aston Villa, it's not even been that long. Do you know what I mean?
Watching that interview, that I thought, right, Gerrard is one of us. Gerrard has the same love for this club that we have.
So for me, I think Gerrard deserves the Oscar this year for probably. Do you know what I mean? It's honestly, guy should sit up and live. You know what I mean?
I mean, even you look at his interview when he was linked with the Newcastle job. Emma Dodds asked him to his face, "What about this coming up?" And he was like, "Nah, I'm happy. They look settled. They look happy." That was 2-3 weeks ago. What has changed?
The thing for me is, I honestly think somebody like Graham Souness or somebody should have phoned him and told him, "Do not go. Do not make a mistake, mate. You're going to make a mistake going here." Because I look at Frank Lampard. I think Frank Lampard, to be honest with you, probably regrets going to Chelsea early. For me, I always thought you're going too early, mate. You're going too early. There's plenty of time. He was guaranteed to get that job, and he'll probably get it again, by the way. But there's plenty of time for Gerrard to get the Liverpool job. He's guaranteed it. He's guaranteed it. So for me, for him just to go, "Nah, I'm going to go to Aston Villa Premier League," it really leaves a bad taste in your mouth, as I say, man. And
the only thing I can understand with it is he's going to Villa, obviously, to go and boost himself up to get bigger jobs, i.e. Liverpool. But even at that, I mean, it could all go tits up.
But this isn't career mode. You know what I mean?
I know.
Career mode at all. You can't just go for one thing, mate. Right? And listen, there's no bigger club for me than Rangers. You know what I mean? You can have your same whoever you want to say, mate. I can't believe November time. Are you mad? We need you for a semi-final and you're going away. I don't want to lose some of the players, man. I'm sorry that some of these players. I look at Alfie, I look at Alfredo, and I think Alfredo, and I think to myself, that guy was how many times that guy was close to leaving, and then he stayed. How many times has he had the fans' hearts in the palm of his hand when he posts these stupid videos constantly in summer?
Look at how many times he has saved Steven Gerrard in games.
That's what I was about to
look at how many goals has he scored that has saved his arse. I mean, the Legia Warsaw one will always stick out because if we didn't score, I mean, we were in extra time. There was no guarantee if we got European football that year, which would have been a failure. And Morelos scored the goal. He scored goals to win us the league last year. Scored goals throughout the tenure of Steven Gerrard so far that have been massive for him.
That's what I was about to say, mate. I mean, it's just he's stayed and he's stuck by us and he's stayed loyal, and he will forever be etched in history from the European top goal scorer, over 100 goals, 55. But to me, it's concerning because I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about, well, if Gerrard's not that committed, they've got somebody like Connor Goldson who's supposed to be a leader, who was probably arguably our best player last season. He's not really committed. You've got a lot of, I don't know what's going on, man. It just seems like at the moment it's a mess.
It just seems the story of the season, do you know? I think that we all expected big things going into this season where we're going to dominate, which again, we're top of the league, but we've not been playing the football we know we can. We got excited at Motherwell. We thought, right, times are changing. We'll go into bigger and better things. A big couple of months for us coming up to go and stretch a lead in that. And then, you're wondering, are these players now committed to if the manager's not? What has the manager been saying to them all this time then if he's been thinking about what jobs he can go and get?
I know, mate, that's the thing I'm on about, but I mean, I know there was a lot of hanging for Celtic when Brendan Rodgers left, but I think you got to look at it, that guy left knowing he had done everything he could have done with the club. Gerrard's leaving with just one. He's just one unbeaten titles, you know what I mean? Think how many times we've been in cups. I mean, game sticks out straight away, the game we should have won. I mean, if Alfie scores that penalty, I think about it all the time. And how many times at Hampden, do you know what I mean? You think to yourself, we should have done something there, but we didn't. You know what I mean? There's so many times. The cups, we've not been good enough in. I don't even know what I'm talking about now, but you know what I mean? He's leaving with one trophy. You think he would have wanted to leave knowing he's etched himself in an important part of the history of the club, and especially how important this season is. You know what I mean? Everyone's coming out with the 4 lads kit and all this patter, and for the gaffer to go, do you know what, lads? I will see you later. I'm away in November. It leaves a bitter taste in your mouth, and for me, it's quite disgusting, as I say.
Well, I've got a wee bit of news for you here. I'm on the club website at the moment, looking at.
Please tell me it's a dream, and Gerrard's not leaving.
I'm looking at the club, like the first team, and all the information on all the backroom staff, including Steven Gerrard's photos. Information is all gone for the club website at the moment. And the terminology they're using and what they've spoke about him, like when they did appoint him, is the former Liverpool and England captain joined the club on the 4th of May. And terminology, like they were delighted. Like, I don't know if I'm reading in too much about that, but just the way it looks, there's no photo of him with this season's kit and all that on, and
but
same way being that.
the fact all we as fans were clueless, man. We're just wanting somebody to say to us, like, here, listen, this is what's going on. And that to me comes down to the board, man. You've got to communicate with the fans here and let us know what's going on. If too many times it happens in football where all these wee journalists are coming out and telling everybody what's happening before the actual club, and that's the problem. There's no communication with the fans of the club and the owners of the clubs anymore in football, man. And I'm not all about all over football, and not just at a club here in this situation, but it was that video today, him coming out that train, which was a guy, it was his agent who told me, it was like,
aye, a shout out to Ibrox channel. They're always retweeting their podcast and all that. So shout out to them, because I know they've been getting a lot of stick with the video going on the papers and not getting any credit for it. So shout out to them. The guy that he was with, some sort of agent, he was there in the car when Gerrard came to get the Rangers job at the time. So obviously going to talk business. I mean, I was looking at that video, and how are people thinking this guy is going to see his family or something? Like, he's with his agent. Like, why would his agent ever be there? Michael Beale's in London. Is that not a bit suspicious as well? How he's there, and the goalkeeping coach, did you say as well?
Aye.
It's all just been sort of building up over the past 24 hours, and it all sort of makes sense. And now with that information as well for the website, that all his photos and all that are gone. Sort of confirms it in a way. But when obviously your man posted it, you sent me a few hours, but I'll touch on Fabrizio Romano, who I get all my information off of. When he usually says it, I believe it. So we're getting about 3 million compensation. Just want to talk a wee bit about that. Like 3 million, I think, up to 4.5 if they pay the release clause for him as well. Again, that is for Steven Gerrard, really.
I know, nah, really. To be honest with you, Michael Beale's probably worth more, is he?
Everybody talks about Michael Beale. Obviously, he's the brains behind what Gerrard does. And I think he'll be a really sore loss as well on the pitch. But
I think he's one that everyone's chopping a bit, saying, "Oh, I'll get Michael Beale." And I said that to you at the end of last season. I said, "Listen, if Gerrard goes, Michael Beale for me is somebody that we should maybe look at and tying him down. But look, listen, if he's going with him and all."
Nah, you know, he had his crowd, obviously, to the brunt of the club that were going to follow him wherever he went. But I'm sickened by the news, to be honest with you. It's just the whole way it has happened when there's been sort of no discussion for the club. No sort of indication of what is happening other than scrolling through Twitter all day and trying to find stuff.
Mate, I've literally spent the last 2 days just scrolling through Twitter to find out what's going on. It shouldn't be like that.
I know, there should be like that. When there's no discussion for the club, I guess that they're waiting to confirm that it's about to happen. And again, as I said with Romano, it's pretty much there, a 3-year deal he's been offered with a compensation fee, which I still feel is a bit laughable for the position we're in. We're obviously a massive club. Fair enough, we're in Scotland, but we should be commanding a big fee for a fucking manager that still get 3 years left in his contract, really. But I guess that might be down to the contract he signed. I don't know the ins and outs of it, of course, but it's sickening. And you do think about last season, as we touched on earlier, that it's got a really bad taste for me now. Like, just everything I thought that guy... Like, just everything, like, see, for the Kamara incident, for Morelos, like, in his bands, to sticking behind all the players, and the football we played last season, getting it right and going invincible and all that, like, it's going to be special. But I'm going to look back on Steven Gerrard now and be like, you left us like in the dark. You left us in an important time of your season, and I can't forgive you for that.
No, definitely. I mean, I've lost all respect for Steven Gerrard, as I say. I don't believe the guy is loyal. I do think the guy's a bit selfish, to be honest with you. Listen, obviously we've come on here, it's raw emotion, we're passionate, obviously. Clip us up if you want. The more views, the better the podcast goes up. That's what I'm all about, baby, so let's do that. But no, man, I'm just, as I say, I don't really care about last season now, do you know what I mean? This is the way it is at this football club. That's the difference between us and Aston Villa. You know what I mean? We look forward, we keep going, we look to have more success. Obviously, we look back with fond memories for it and also what it meant to us. But I look back especially fondly for the team, no for him. As far as I'm concerned, I'm just waiting for the whole post on the Instagram. Rangers was special. My time there was. I don't want to hear it. Do you know what I mean?
That's what I've thought as well. As soon as it gets confirmed and all that, like, flattery is just pushing the pill to me at the moment, mate. Like, that's what I'll comment on that post. Like, I do not care what words you have got to say about anything. Everything that you have said has technically been just bullshit, to be honest with you. Like, for him saying last season, like, this season we're going to go for more and I want more at this club. I've told all these players I want to feel this feeling again and all that. I find it so unforgivable that you just jump ship at the first opportunity. It's unforgivable for me. But on to more positive things. If he is to leave the club and we have to get a replacement in Sharp, and hopefully it isn't Russell Martin, by the way, just fucking X that one out straight away. Who would you like to see as Rangers manager? Because it could be the freshen up we need. As we say, we've played really poorly for large parts of the season. Maybe we do need a refresh, and who would you like to see take that on board?
You want me to be honest with you?
Just who would you like?
I'm going to say it, man's got experience in it. I want to just go for Barry Ferguson now. Let's do it. If these chop and changing go. I'm telling you why, right? Unlike Gerrard, Gerrard got the job obviously for Youth Academy straight into it, and we gave him a chance. We stuck with him, as we say. There was slip-ups, but we stuck with him. We're a loyal fan base, unlike Gerrard. We're loyal. Ferguson's got experience, as I say, in the Scottish game. He's currently with, he's with now?
Oh, I don't know if he was at Celtic Hearts last year, and I think he left.
Celtic Hearts and all that. I don't know. Jack, you're asking me this question now. I really don't know. I know the Dutch boy that used to was with us.
Well,
I'm talking.
Barry Ferguson. I can understand why a lot of people have said that. Iconic player, knows
everything. Birmingham and all. He knows to score with. Do you know what I mean?
That'd be perfect. He comes in playing with Birmingham, and that'd be perfect. But don't know if he's at the moment. If we're going to go and get somebody, it either needs to be, again, a long-term plan to take us on in the next level, or it needs to be somebody to come in, steer the ship and win us the league, because the priority now is win the league, and whoever comes in, that is the task.
Listen, but that's what I said to you. I said, I honestly think whoever comes in and wins the league this season, for me, just the position we're in and how we've been left, I think that to me is bigger than what Gerrard did. I'm sorry, I'm saying it. I don't care what MD says. For me, it is. I honestly.
But no,
he's left us in the lurch, man. He's left us in the lurch to go to a relegation.
To go to a relegation fight.
It's mad. Listen, I'm saying Barry Ferguson because I honestly, I don't know why I'm saying Barry. I'd love it. I've just been finished watching him talking about the whole Aston Villa and thing.
Aye.
But I don't know. Honestly, I know the Dutch boy who used to play for us is. I'm not going to say these names. You know, I'm no good with names, but.
Aye. Well, I'll give you my point on it. I think Van Bronckhorst is a good appointment to make. Looking at everything about him, obviously he knows the club. He's had a really great playing career as well. Won the league with Feyenoord maybe a few years ago now. He went to Guangzhou City, and the only thing you could maybe say, he left that position because he was missing his family and all that. He wanted to get closer to his family. Obviously Guangzhou, China, I think they play. So coming to the Rangers, obviously he knows what it's about. He has the experience of being a manager, obviously. Similar play style, I've heard, to Steven Gerrard. He's already got the squad there. He's got more than a capable squad to go and win the league. But for me, if you do appoint Van Bronckhorst, that is your sort of long-term appointment. Like, he's going to be the manager for the foreseeable. If you're bringing in a manager to see at the end of the season to see what you're going to do, but then it just feels like we're going to be in a never-ending cycle. It felt like we got Steven Gerrard right, and that was us, right? 4 seasons we've sort of survived with Gerrard, 4 summers, but before that it was like, right, we'll bring a manager in, he gets sacked halfway through the season, then we bring in somebody to steer the ship, and then we rebuild in the summer. I don't want that process to start over. Like, again, it felt like we were in a position where we don't need to have transition anymore. I don't know how you feel about that.
No, I'm exactly the same, mate. Listen, I couldn't tell you who's going to get the job, and I hope the people in charge know who they want. It's not going to be one of these dafties, I swear, man. If it's somebody I'm going...
Aye. That's maybe my next question to you. Do you believe Ross Wilson can get the right man?
Absolutely, I do. I know people are on about what he's done at Southampton and all that part, but listen, let me tell you something, Jack. I felt like being Kanye West for a minute and just saying that I'm going for the managerial position, because people talk about tactics and all this. I'm not having it, all right? Do you know what it's about? It's about being good with people and treating people well, do you know what I mean? And in the respect, football players know how to play football. I don't need to tell you how to play football. Yeah, listen, son, do this, do that. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I couldn't tell you who's going to get the job, mate. I just hope it's not a dafty. I really do. I hope it's no somebody from somewhere in the world I've never heard before. But as I say, to me, it's not all about this. Do you know what I mean? Oh, we play the 4-4-2. We play this. It's about, do you know what? You know who you are. You know what you can do. You know how big this club is. Get out there, perform, get the goals. If you don't perform, then I'm going to tell you that you're better and you can do better. You should be doing better because it's Rangers.
And to look at the possible, obviously, next appointment, it has to be somebody that matches the same sort of ambition as we had when we signed Steven Gerrard to be manager. It needs to be somebody of the same calibre, at the same level.
But this is
for me.
Sorry, angry you, mate. Right, we're going all over the place here, but I'm sorry, right. This is my problem, right. We took a chance on Gerrard when he was at the academy level, right? And I'm thinking about somebody like Ferguson, right? It doesn't have to be Ferguson, right? But that guy's actually got experience in this game. And as I say, if people are going on about, oh, but he's not hanging me at the right, I'm like, but bro, he's played for the club. It's the same with Gerrard. He's played European nights. I remember people saying that about Gerrard. Oh, but he's never managed in Europe. He's never but he's played and he knows he'll take his experiences for Walter. And that's the way Gerrard was. He took experiences for Rafa, all these different managers. He take lessons for all these guys. I don't know. I just think
because he came into the job and he was virtually just a manager.
He was laughed at. Mate, he was laughed at. I remember standing with people that we were hanging, obviously with our pals that are Celtic fans, and they were laughing at us and they were saying, listen, you're going to beat like 6-0, all right? He can't even get a result with under 16s or 17s. And I just remember standing there thinking, aye, right, we'll see, we'll prove he's wrong. And the guy did that. He proved them wrong. And I honestly thought after last season, I thought we're going to kick on. We're going to hopefully win the league again, add the cups. But it's no career mode, Jack, and it's no FIFA. And as it is in nowadays, money talks, and it's all about your status and how cool you are. Do you know what I mean?
Nah, I don't even really know what else to say, to be honest with you. It's just
like, who do you want? Like, obviously you said Thingmere, but listen, see if you can get him. Who else did you want? Who else would you look at?
Do you know, I was thinking about it, and I would love to see John Dal Thomason in Malmo as the next Rangers manager. I feel that it's a guy who we could get. I feel that he's outsmarted Gerrard at the time when we played them. He's got experience of Champions League football, all being they've been pumped every game, but he's in the competition. Like, he got them there, top of their league. And I don't know if you look at the Swedish league and think it's probably a poorer league than Scotland, but maybe to similar levels.
I don't think that's the difference. So I hate football fans that are like, but that's just the thing. No, listen, look at the league and look at the quality players that you could say that about. The Belgian league or something, you know what I mean? Look, we've put Yanis Hadji for there and we've put Fast and Sakala for there. So I know Jack Henry's over there, but that's a difference, you know.
No, I know. So maybe somebody like him I'd be looking at. Like, obviously we know who he is. Like, played ESL, had a good career. I think he's just only 45 as well, so still quite a young manager. For him to come in, I mean, I think that'd be an exciting appointment. Obviously, he played the mind games before the game. We all hated him, but looking at him as a manager, he'd be the kind of guy you would want to have as your manager, to be honest, rather than obviously play against him. So that was the one that came to my head, and I'd be really excited by the appointment of him.
The thing that's annoying me, and because I don't see it happening, and I don't know why people are saying it, but everyone are going about like Frank Lampard. I can't see Frank Lampard coming in.
Nah, me either, to be honest with you. I can't see Frank Lampard taking the Rangers job. I feel like his next job will be in the Premier League at somewhere. And I think Norwich maybe is in the next position for him to go to. But then, I mean, if Norwich are pretty much down, if he keeps him up, I mean, he's doing wonders.
I thought he was going to get the Aston Villa job, to be honest with you. I thought that was a perfect fit for Frank. But I don't know who they're going to bring in. Listen,
well, the current favourite for the job as we speak is Russell Martin. And Swansea are 13th in the Championship. Swansea have been battered in times this season. And every time because I knew Russell Martin took the job. I've been on Swansea's Twitter whenever they've been getting beat, and I've looked at the comments and all. Russell Martin out. Like,
Excuse me. Are you sure this isn't a dream? This might be a dream or something. It's not a positive dream, but you sure I'm not in a dream world here? I'm not having that guy in charge at this club.
No, I'm totally against the proposal to get him as the manager. I just don't feel like that's the right move to make for the position we're in. We are not the Rangers of 4 years ago. Like, we are not looking for a young kind of manager like that to come in and see if it works. We need somebody to come in and know it's going to work. We need somebody with a pedigree to come in and win the league, because maybe the fallout has happened with Steven Gerrard for the moment that Malmo game finished. Like he was promised funds to go and bolster his squad, and funds were only off reaching the Champions League, and he never got what he wanted. Maybe he wanted that Dutch boy. Like, I'll never know if the rumours were actually true, but it feels like there might have been a wee falling out with the amount of money that Gerrard, because to be fair to the guy, he's well within his right to go and request anybody he wanted at that point. Like, if he said, right, I want him for £8 million, like the board should be looking at that and be like, right, well, look at the season he's just delivered us, unbeaten. We need to keep improving, and that's what Gerrard said all his time. And I just, obviously we like the signings that we've got. But Bakuna only a few days ago had a really good game in that, but it just maybe feels like that signing was maybe a cheaper option to things we could have got.
No, definitely. I think the transfer thing might have been. That's what I'm on about in terms of money. I'm not on about his wage or anything like that. The guy's got enough money as it is, and I hope it wouldn't be because he ain't like that. But no, financially, definitely, that was something that probably bothered him, and obviously the money we was getting for Champions League and what have you. But
yeah,
who knows, man? The money fans are paying, though, come on, for season tickets and for how much you and your dad are, you know what I mean? You're paying for Europe and all this part, and the kits. Don't get me started on the price in the kits. It's honestly, I just think obviously these funds must be getting used for the museum. But to be honest with you,
but then you look at how many kits, tickets, European packages we've sold this season. I mean,
no, you definitely look at that. But if you're asking me, do you want a museum or do you want a top player that can get you in the Champions League? I'm sorry, I'm looking for that Champions League.
It's a no-brainer. And that's what I think maybe the fallout could have been. With something like that. Like, he needed players to go and bolster his squad, and maybe that has been a falling out with the board or something like that.
It might. I don't know if it has been.
Clutching at straws with it back. I'm just thinking, like,
listen, as I keep saying, that result was terrible. Listen, both legs of the game were shocking, to be honest with you. But I'm honestly hoping this is like an episode of Dallas and I'm just going to wake up.
No.
And this is all, I'm probably not, this is real life and it's not the Matrix. Nah, I can't believe this. Listen, I don't want to go through the whole cycle repeat again, man. That's torture, do you know what I mean? I don't know who's going to get this position now, man. But all I can say is I hope it's someone who can deliver success. Listen, I don't know who it'll be, mate, but I just hope it's somebody who can come in and it can keep our players and all. That's a big thing for me. Glenn Kamara's just signed a new deal. Yanis Adji, Aribo, all these lads, man.
That's why I'm excited at the prospect of an exciting manager coming in to do stuff with these players, because I feel that obviously a new manager's going to implement what he wants on the team, and I feel that with this team that Steven Gerrard's crafted, I feel like a lot of things are still to come for it, even if he isn't the manager. Like, there's top players in that team. We know there is, and I feel that if you get the right man in the next week, maybe even like 3 to 4 days, like not even a week, like as quick as possible, if we get this Gerrard news sort of done and dusted, like he has to come in quick, and it's a quick turnaround, obviously, and it needs to be a guy that can handle that pressure within his first week as it's the boss, you know what I mean?
No, definitely. Honestly, we're just getting our honest opinion here. This is an episode where we just thought, let's go on, let's be honest.
There is no script. Usually I have a book, notes that we can tick off, but I have just turned on the camera and went.
Listen, see, to be honest with you, we probably should have done a live stream and just looked through Bundesliga's half decent managers who could work with great young talent. But I don't think we should sell ourselves short at the end of the day. Remember who we are, we're the famous Glasgow Rangers, and MD should look at us and go, wow, that's a special place to go and hang me. As I say, if he posts anything, I'm sorry, if you put special club, you can undo that. I don't want none of that for you, pal.
I really do want to hear, if it all goes through, I want to hear his interview and what he's got to say about Rangers, but I'm not going to believe a word there. I just want to know what this guy, after saying that on Sunday, is going to say when he's sitting with a fucking Aston Villa top on, like, and then the stuff he's going to put on social media and all that, like, baffle me.
That's the thing. I noticed Michael Beale turning his comments and all that off, but what's your whole thing with Tav going on Twitch?
I actually turned it on. I was like, right, we'll see what happens here. But I think the most interesting thing that happened with that is like, and I can see what's in the comments and all that, and I only see what you're seeing. So for the fact that maybe even the players have been left in the dark about it, Like, he's
Well,
just
that's
fucked
it.
off and not told MD about it. Like his own players. Like, to me, again, that is poor for a guy like Steven Gerrard, a guy that we idolised and a guy that we obviously had great admiration for, and like we believed everything that came out of his mouth. For
Not even
it to turn the way it has, it's
not even that though. Like, I think about when I was a wee laddie when football felt like football, and it was always a debate between him and Lampard, and he was a phenomenal player, and you always looked at him and thought, wow, that's a guy that's about class for how long he stayed at Liverpool. And then he comes to the club and you're like, wow, we've got this guy. Just to do that, to me, it's bang out of the order. I know most of the players have been posting today. I've noticed that everyone's posting about brand stuff or whatever, or what they're doing, which no problem at all. I don't know, maybe you could say, oh, I'm not on the campaign, do you know what I mean? If they should be in the training ground trying to find out what's going on. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, the guys are on a break, but they should be at least asking somebody at the top of the position, listen here, what's going on? Because we're the same as the fans. And that's what I'm on about. It's all about communication. We've all got to be together here. And it's something that's lost with football, I feel like, nowadays, man. It's just, there's no communication.
Absolutely. But
it's something for me. I'm going to go in the old rant here, mate. I'm sorry, but when I watched that Alex Ferguson documentary, and I watch a lot of stuff with old school managers and players talking about how they did. And I've just watched Barry Ferguson talking about how he used to be on the toast and the tea for Walter. And things like that are going out of football. Are you mad? That's important. We're on about this character building. Do you know what I mean? It humbles you for when you've got all this money and
when you hear stories about that, about Walter, and then you see what Barry Ferguson turned out to be, you know, like how good of a guy was Walter to work under. If like you were carrying the tea and all that, you're a wee tea boy, and then you end up becoming the captain of the club. Like,
and that's the thing I'm on about. He wasn't one of them. He's screaming at you, Barry Ferguson was on about what happened. Was it with Scotland? And he's on about, he just told him, you've let everybody down, and then he told him, you've let your family down, and then it hurt him the most. And I think about with Ferguson, I remember watching Ferguson's documentary, he's got the players training on the beach and in the parks, obviously because they couldn't afford the facilities. See, that to me, that's so much important. Like, just communicating with the people around you, man, it's also important. I hate the whole privilege part of, do you know what I mean? Like, oh, we've got to train on these high quality facilities. It's football, lads. Believe in, you know what I mean? It's the basics. I can't believe this, man.
Now, if we look at the team, right, if we go through the team, obviously, I think the most important thing currently is Al McGregor and Stephen Davis are at the club, because I mean they'll be the figureheads around the dressing room. Like, they've went through a transition in that. Like, they've obviously been at the club when we went into administration in that, and I'm pretty sure they'll be the leaders going forward as well as Tavernier. Like, obviously he is the captain. He's on right. But who do you think will be most affected by if Gerrard's no longer the manager? Because I'm looking at players like Joe Aribo. I feel like Joe Aribo's a good pro to get on with and get his head down and play football for the club. But I feel that anytime Joe Aribo is mentioned to Steven Gerrard, Gerrard has backed him up to the hills about everything. He is always, like, he's speaking about how good he is, like, many positions, and all. I think Aribo is one of the guys.
So what you're asking me is here, who's Steven Gerrard taking for the Rangers team to Aston Villa?
Aye, because we're going to, it's him, right, you're getting 20 million for Aribo straight away. We should be demanding, if Gerrard comes in for our players, all being he goes to Aston Villa, like, we've got to ask for big money. Like, surely that just makes us even more of a laughing stock if we just go and give all our players to him and all. But looking at the players like Goldson, I feel, obviously we know he's gone either in January or the summer. Does he follow Gerrard to Villa? Wanted to go back to the Premier League, didn't he? Gerrard fucking idolises the cunt. Maybe he goes with him. Who else? Ryan Kent, obviously. He's known Michael Beale all his life. Steven Gerrard, obviously, at Liverpool and that. Like, is he affected by it?
See, that's the ones that I'm the most thingy about, that I'm like, there's potential for him to go, as you say. You've obviously said Connor Goldson. If he goes, he goes, to be honest with you. It's Joe Aribo, Glenn Kamara, and Ryan Kent. Those are the three for me that I'm like, you come anywhere near them. I won't obviously hang me, but you know how you feel, man.
And even look at when John Lundstrom joined the club. Like, Steven Gerrard was on the phone to me, and I'm a Scouse boy for Liverpool. I was dying to get up here.
And I'm worried about Patterson.
Aye, well, maybe the new manager will come in and give him a game and he'll stay at the club. But Aye, it's all sort of up in the air. It looks to be confirmed, but if we're just talking pish at the end of the day, if Gerrard stays at club, I'll just delete the video after we've done it. Fingers crossed, obviously, for that. But I think the fact that he's went and took the talks and he's actually considered moving on for Rangers, I think it's just dead in the water now. If he had to come back and give his opinion on why did you go and speak to another club then if you're totally committed to Rangers, I just don't feel it would work, and it'd be a matter of time before he would be away again, because the club is built on sort of loyalty, and people like Steven Gerrard, don't get me wrong, like he's been a great manager for the club. If this is where it's the end, like he's been a great manager for the club, a great servant. He brought his Rangers back. He look at the team we've got, the European runs every year, like league title. It'll always all be remembered.
He brought excitement back, mate.
He brought the excitement factor back to Ibrox, and I'm excited to watch this team play. You know what I mean,
no, definitely. It's just, I don't know, mate. If he's gone, he's gone, man. I don't know what's going on anymore.
We'll just need to see how it goes. But we're rambling on, I guess. If you want to maybe call it this, we can move on and see what happens. But I wasn't expecting to do a video tonight, just sort of impromptu. Had to get all the feelings out there.
Definitely.
Hopefully, if you're listening along, you can tweet us or comment on the video that. Your thoughts about Gerrard, and does it leave a bad taste? Does it tarnish his record now? His sort of memories you'll have him at the club, let us know. But I think that's really all. We'll just need to wait.
I don't know. Listen, just before we go, I'm going to say a wee piece. But obviously we've come on here. We're just getting a raw emotion, just our raw thoughts, and obviously tell us what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and obviously main thing, be kind. All right.
I know, because we're coming on here, we're ranting, we're raving, but at the end of the day, we're two young guys that are just passionate Rangers fans, and we have been all our life. So to see something like that happen, we're obviously going to be up there about it.
No, just honestly, have your opinion, Hangy. Keep it respectful and kind. You know what I mean? Everybody preaches mental health and all that, so let's just keep it all hanging. You know what I mean?
I think we've just sort of been unfiltered. It'll just go up as it is, and as we said, let us know. Exactly. What you think.
And if he doesn't go, Jack, if he doesn't go and we wake up and it's a dream and you had a great day and all that, then we'll be like, yo.
But I'll post the video and we'll see what happens. But again, we'll be back next week at some point with the Walter Smith video eventually. That will still be happening. That podcast we'll maybe need to touch on before that. Though what's the situation after putting this one up, but. Hopefully all's well. If he leaves, hopefully we've got a man in place by then. And as we said, we move on because we are Rangers, and no man is bigger than the club itself. So leaving on that note, then, if you could subscribe to the channel, share about for us, that'd be greatly appreciated. And we'll see you then. Cheers.